I was 19 when I downloaded the dating app. Not because I was lonely, exactly, but because summer stretches time until the hours feel hollow, like an empty house after everyone's gone to bed. I had just finished my second year of college and moved back in with my mom and younger sister for the break. We'd recently bought a modest house on the edge of a quiet suburb outside Riverside. Beige siding, narrow driveway, streets where everyone waved, but nobody talked. Too safe. My mom worked long shifts at a medical billing office, and my sister Belle, 15, was always at friends' houses. I was alone a lot. One humid July night, sprawled across my bed with the ceiling fan rattling above me, I created a profile. Nothing fancy. Photos, a line about liking live music and late-night drives, a joke about being terrible at bowling. That's how I matched with Jonah. His profile didn't scream red flags. Crooked smile, leaning against an old pickup, dog photo he admitted wasn't his. Lived 20 minutes away, construction worker, bad at texting, but good in person. Our chats drifted from fast food to childhood stories, easy and familiar. After a week, he asked to meet for coffee. Public place, I told my mom. Text me when you get there. I rolled my eyes, smiled anyway. At the cafe, Jonah stood when he saw me. "You're taller than I thought," he said, grinning. "You're worse at smiling in pictures," I shot back. He laughed real, easy. For the first half hour, everything felt normal. But then, there were little things. When the barista called my name, Jonah tilted his head, listening to something I couldn't hear. "Hear that?" he asked. "Hear what?" I said. He shook his head. "Nothing." I brushed it off. Over the next weeks, we saw each other more. Movies, drives, fries in his truck. But he never came to my house. Whenever I suggested it, he dodged. "Your place is probably boring," he said. "Or another time." Then one night, after my sister had gone to sleep and my mom worked late, I lay scrolling through my phone when I heard music. Soft, faint. At first, I thought it was my phone, maybe an ad or a video. But muting everything didn't stop it. The sound was inside my room. I sat up, listening. Clearer now. It drifted from my closet. I forced a laugh. "Get it together," I whispered, stepping closer. The music grew sharper when I opened the door. Pushing aside jackets, my fingers brushed something cold and smooth. I pulled it out. A porcelain egg-shaped ornament. Gold vines, tiny painted flowers. A seam around the middle. The music continued, delicate and unsettling. "I've never seen this before," I said aloud. The jacket it had been inside was new. I'd bought it a week ago. I FaceTimed my sister. "Bree, have you seen this?" She squinted at the screen. "No." "Did Mom buy that?" "I don't think so." "Call her. Don't touch it." When Mom got home, I met her at the door, holding the ornament like it might bite. "What is this?" Her face changed. Not scared exactly, just uneasy. "I've never seen that before." We called the police. They checked the house, took the ornament, said they'd inspect it. No cameras, no trackers, nothing. 2 weeks later, Mom called me while I stayed at a friend's dorm. "Why did you leave the attic door open?" she asked. I hadn't. Well, someone did. After that, we were banned from going up there. Things with Jonah started feeling off. He asked too many questions about my house. "Does it creak at night? You got an attic, right? Ever hear stuff when you're alone?" One night I asked directly, "Why do you care so much?" He smiled. Didn't reach his eyes. "I just noticed things." I stopped seeing him soon after. Years later, at 31, living alone in a rural house built long before I was born, I thought about him again. About the ornament, about the attic. And when a man on a dating app casually asked if my house had an attic, I unmatched him without a word. Some things don't need answers. I used to think the quiet on Harbor Street was harmless. Just another background sound of a city falling asleep. I never imagined it would haunt me long after I left, or that a single client, just one, would permanently change the way I look at dark windows, empty hallways, or a flickering motel sign in the rain. My name is Alyssa Grant. I'm 27. I was born in Jacksonville, Florida, and raised mostly on my own. I've worked the streets of Wilmington, North Carolina, long enough to recognize danger before it shows its face. But the night I walked into room 6, there was no warning. No instinct screaming at me to run. Just a feeling, one I still feel breathing down my neck when I close my eyes. It happened at the Sandridge Motor Inn, a rundown motel just off Highway 17. You wouldn't remember it if you passed by. Half the neon sign was dead. The vending machine never worked, and the front desk clerk always looked like he'd given up on life years ago. The Sandridge was cheap, and cheap places attract people who don't want to be seen. That night, the air smelled like rain. The parking lot was slick with puddles reflecting the flickering neon. As I stood under the awning, scrolling my phone and waiting for a client to confirm, then the messages came. 5 in a row from an unknown number. Room 6, come alone. Cash is on the table. No name, no details. People assume sex work is reckless, that we don't think. The truth is, we think constantly. Every decision feels like it might be the last one we ever make. But the motel had cameras. There were other cars in the lot, and I needed the money. Rent was late. My car payment was late. Everything was late. So I walked to room 6. I knocked. Nothing. I knocked again. It's Alyssa, I said softly. You texted me. Still nothing. Then, when my hand touched the knob, it began to turn on its own. Slow, deliberate, like someone was opening it from the inside. The door creaked open. The room was almost completely dark, except for a dim yellow lamp on the nightstand. Its shade crooked, like it had been bumped earlier. The air inside felt wrong. Not cold from air conditioning. Cold like a grave. I stepped inside. The door closed behind me without my touch. "Hello?" I whispered. That's when I saw her. A woman sat on the edge of the bed. Long black hair hid her face. Her hands were folded neatly in her lap, as if she'd been waiting for hours. Her posture was too still, too upright, like she wasn't breathing. She wore a pale blue dress that looked outdated, something from the early 2000s. "Are you the one who booked me?" I asked. No response. I reached for the light switch. It didn't work. Then she spoke. Low, raspy, sudden. "Sit." Every instinct told me to leave. But desperation dulls instinct. It makes you ignore the voice that's trying to save you. I sat in the chair across from her. When she lifted her head, I understood something was deeply wrong. Her eyes weren't focused on me or anything. They were wide, glassy, reflecting the lamp like mirrors. Dead eyes that still somehow watched. "Are you okay?" I asked quietly. She raised a trembling hand and pointed to the nightstand. A neat stack of cash sat beside the lamp. "Take it," she said. I reached for the money. "Don't leave me alone." My body locked. "Are you in trouble?" I asked. She nodded slowly. "He comes back at night." "Who?" "He owned me. Just like he owns this room. No matter how many times I leave, I wake up here again." The lamp flickered. The air grew colder. "Don't leave me alone," she whispered again. "He doesn't like it when someone leaves." "Do you want me to call the police?" I asked. Her body stiffened instantly. "No police." Her voice was sharp now. Final. "No one can help. Not anymore." Footsteps echoed outside the room. Heavy, slow. She grabbed my wrist. Her grip was ice cold. He's here. The footsteps stopped outside the door. Tap, tap, tap. Then a voice spoke, dragging my name out like it enjoyed the sound of it. Alyssa. My blood turned to ice. I hadn't told him my name. He wants you to open the door, she whispered. If you do, he'll take you too. Who is he? I asked. My last client. She lifted her head and I saw the bruises around her throat. Finger-shaped, dark, and rotting. Are you alive? I whispered. I haven't been alive since 2011. The knocking stopped. Then the doorknob began to turn on its own. A shadow spilled across the carpet. Too tall, too thin, its arms dragging like smoke. She shoved me. Run. I bolted into the bathroom and slammed the door. The lights flickered violently. Something slammed against the room door. A scream tore through the walls. Hers. Then silence. A whisper came through the bathroom door in her voice, but wrong. Alyssa, open the door. When the handle finally turned, there was no one there. The room was empty, the hallway deserted. I ran barefoot through the rain until I collapsed at a gas station. 2 days later, police sealed the Sandridge Motor Inn. Room 6 had been abandoned for years. Beneath the floorboards, they found blood belonging to Rachel Moore, a sex worker missing since 2011. Her last known client? A tall man with a scar across his jaw. The same man who always whispered when booking a room. I'll come back at night. 3 weeks later, my phone lit up at 2:17 a.m. Unknown number. Room 6. You left too soon. My phone is still on the table behind me. And I swear I just heard footsteps in my hallway. Heavy. Slow. Someone just whispered through my door. Alyssa. Don't leave me alone.